Hi, my name is Richa and I am from Juspay. During onboarding, we get many questions regarding webhooks or callbacks. We get questions like why do we need webhooks if we have integrated order status API, how to integrate webhooks, and why is webhook configuration mandatory? In this video, we'll get answers to all of these questions. There are two ways to know the order status. One is order status API and second is webhooks. In order status API, merchant server polls the order status from Juspay server using this API. In webhooks, Juspay pushes the order status using a push-based notification, and this is called webhooks. We recommend to not solely rely on order status API or webhooks. We strongly advise to integrate both for a reliable system. Why do we say that? We recommend to use both order status API and webhooks to know the status of the order. Order status API is polled by your servers at a set frequency till a threshold time known as fulfillment window. There's a high possibility that the order status gets updated within Juspay system and you have not polled the order status API to know the status, due to which there will be a delay in updating status to your customers. However, webhooks are a real-time push-based notification that Juspay sends to your servers that you can consume and update the status at your end at a real time. Using this, your customers will be updated real time with the status of the order. Now let's understand what are the major steps to integrate webhooks. There are two steps. One is configuring webhook URL and events in the Juspay dashboard, and second is consuming the webhooks sent by Juspay. Let's understand more about the configuration part. You can configure the webhook URL within Juspay dashboard. Navigate to the payment section. Within that, navigate to settings and then webhooks tab. Here you will find a webhook URL input field. Here you need to enter a valid HTTPS webhook URL. The second step is to configure webhook events. These are the events or the notification that we are going to send to your servers whenever the transaction status is updated. You can choose the events based on your use case. To know more about these events and the meaning of these events, there is a link attached in the description below that you can refer to. Please note that as a security measure, we also recommend you to use username and password for authorizing the header. We will base64 encode that username and password and send as the basic authorization header within the webhooks. You need to base64 decode it, verify the username and password configured in the dashboard, and then only consume the webhooks. To know in detail about the Webhook authorization, you can refer to the link attached in the description below. The second step of integrating webhook is consuming the webhook. Please note that this is an equally important step. Juspay will be triggering the webhook on the webhook URL configured in the dashboard. You need to consume it and return a 200 response. In case we receive a non-200 response, the webhook status will be marked as failure. And Juspay will re-trigger the webhook over a span of day till we receive a 200 response. Now let's learn how to check the webhook status in Juspay dashboard. Let's understand this by taking an example of an order ID. Search for the order ID within the dashboard. Scroll down to the webhook section. In this, you can see a table where all the events that has been configured will come under the event name column and the status of the webhook will come under webhook notified column. In this case, it is false. This means that the webhook was triggered by Juspay but merchant did not consume it. If the webhook is notified and successfully consumed by the merchant, the webhook notified status will be true. If there is no entry here, this means the respective webhook event was not enabled within the Juspay dashboard. If you want to know what was the response triggered by the merchant for that particular webhook, you can navigate to the audit trail section and know the response. Let's learn by taking a demo order ID as an example. Navigate to View Transaction Journey section. You can directly filter the failure logs. You can find a log saying failed sending order succeeded webhook for the merchant ID. Here you can see that the error code was 4404, which is a non-200 response, and navigate to the exact response parameter and see the response that was received for this particular webhook. The most common reason why we usually receive a non-200 is that sometimes the webhook URL that is configured in the dashboard is either unreachable or is incorrect. In that case, we usually receive a 4xx that we just now saw in the audit trail. The second most common reason is when the merchant server rejects the webhook. In that case, we mostly receive a 5xx. Please note that these are just the most common reasons we have observed. There could be other reasons as well based on case to case. You can make use of audit trail to know the exact reason why the webhook was failed. I hope after watching this video, all your questions regarding webhooks are answered. In case you have more queries, drop your query in the Slack community channel. Thanks for watching.